Yeah, you don't want to check the scores then.
Sorry, was it?
You're checking your fantasy score.
Craig, you looked out of sorts. Is it you just had a little bit of a stutter a few weeks out from the finals, or are you in a heavy training block, or just that might have, which can often be the case this time of year when you're top by two games? What's going on with that?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, the psychology of professional sport. Credit to Hawthorn. I'll never stand in front of you or sit in front of you and denigrate the opposition because I thought their efforts were outstanding. The psychology of ladder position potentially, like it's interesting, what our players are, where they put their energy. There's a bit of play late in the game. I think it might have been Morrison tackles Noble, and the crowd roars, and the 4 or 5 players get over to celebrate the tackle. That's been us for a large part of the last 18 months. That's been our energy levels and our want and excitement for others. It's a fascinating game. I think the game's played above the head more than people give it credit for.
How do you fix it, Fly? I mean, first time you lost back-to-back games since round 9 last year. Everyone's expected Collingwood to respond after what happened last week. How do you fix it?
Yeah.
Next Friday night?
Oh, well, you can only judge on what you see, and the players get to work and they come in, they prepare as good as any team I've ever seen. And that was no different this week. I thought we prepared really well for the opposition, knew what was coming, a lot of uncontested possessions. I thought, funnily enough, I tend to write a script on what the game can do and potentially threats before the game. And the script in my head was, they get a fast start and 4 or 5 goals in front of us, we'll be chasing our tail all game. That was the script I had in my head. That was one thing I was worried about. Got to be careful what you wish for. No, but I think it's like anything. You win, lose or draw. We're in the growth mindset business. I hate losing more than most people. I must say that. I'm not a bad loser, but I just hate losing. And I'll do anything to make this group better and improve ourselves. This is not the end of the world. We're not wearing black armbands for this loss. Like it's a moment in time. We've got work to do. There's great lessons that can be learnt from tonight or this afternoon, and certainly around that hunger and psychology, I'll be digging a bit deeper.
Looked like you had a bit of a cost casualty voice from it. Can you give us?
Yep.
There's 3 players, perhaps more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's there's more than the 4 points lost here. There's a couple of players that we'll be chasing the clock to get up. I think Nathan Murphy looks like he might have a syndesmosis. We're getting that scan. Hearing on the low end of that, if that is actually what it is. And Nick got a knock to the knee, which you'll get a scan to see if there's any more deeper than just a knock.
Can you just give us a bit more detail on Nathan Murphy's been so critical for you this year. You've got 3 games to go in the home and away season. You're worried that he won't be back until September?
I'm not going to make comment on that because we don't know until the scan. The doc just says he's concerned it's a syndesmosis, low grade. We'll know more when we get the scan. So likely to be out next week as a minimum.
Tom Mitchell was the other one that had ice on his leg after you subbed him. Any concern there?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
What did Nick Dacos learn from today?
Oh, well, I think it's not about Nick, but I think we all learn a lot about ourselves. The level of the tag was what we expected. Nick gets a bit of a knock, makes it harder for him to run off as much, so we put him deep. Didn't quite work. And then in the end you go, we're actually tying ourselves in knots here trying to find a place for Nick, and it's actually disconnecting other parts of our game. So we just, in the end, just went with what we knew. So back to a bit of a normal system. I think credit to Finn McGuinness. He's found a role for himself in the AFL. He's a great kid. Lucky enough to work with him for 12 months. So he works as hard as his game as anyone I've seen. So challenges always present.
When did Nick get that knock? Because you were sort of had him down in attack.
Yeah, I think second quarter. I don't know exactly though. I don't want to take away from.
No.
We're not a team that gets a loser's limp going. I'm not going to live in that world.
Can Nick get better support perhaps from his teammates?
Well, we talked about that pre-game, so it's an interesting question. Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I have to look at the tape. We like to think we look after each other quite well. I think the disconnection between our game a little bit is just gone off the last couple of weeks. Comparative, if you compare that tackle on the boundary line to what we do, maybe there wasn't enough of those efforts consistently enough. We'll look deeper into that, but I think we've have great pride in our connection the last 18 months, and tonight wasn't that.
The other great matchup in the game was the Hardwick Jamie Elliott matchup.
Yeah.
How did you assess that? Because Jamie finishes with 3 goals. Blake Hardwick had a phenomenal game.
Yeah. I would have thought most of their players would have said they played well. I haven't seen them play like that this year, and they're a young team that'll look back at this game and be, oh wow, we beat Collingwood at the MCG. That gives them great hope for what's the future. For us, it's about learning good lessons along the way, getting our best players playing good. I didn't think our best players played well tonight, so we get back to work on that. And like any team, if you don't have your best players playing well, it makes it hard for others.
Are you looking at Billy Frampton to come back in to support the loss of Nathan Murphy?
Yeah, I think we'll. Billy was meant to play tomorrow. I think we'll rest him and keep him in mind for 5 days' time or whatever it is post tomorrow.
So we need some tools forward of the ball, and with Mason Cox, does that still need tinkering? Do you think after what happened at the centre bounces, do you need that extra rapid?
Yeah, 18-3 at centre bounce is not a great result, is it? So if you just want to be pragmatic and call it what it is, you lose 18-3, the ball's played in your back half and you have to transition well. You can make all these other things up, but that's one thing we just need to be better at. And we're a work in progress, and this is not the last game of the year. Neither is next week, so we're working towards finding out some answers. And some of these the questions that are upon us. We've got to find out quickly, don't we? Because there's 3 weeks to go in the regular season, so we need to find out a bit more.
There was a view during the week that the Carlton loss would be beneficial. Do you think you look back by the end of September, this fortnight is really helpful in getting you through to where you want to get to?
I live in that world that I reckon that, I'd like to think so. Yeah, I'm an optimistic guy. I look on the bright side of life and look for the good in things. We just, in the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of parts of our game that just doesn't look the same as what it has. But this is a long journey, a marathon. I'd like to think so. And whenever we get to reflect on this season, we look back and that was a moment. That was a moment. We learned a lot last week. There was so much we learned last week, and we presented it to the players, and learn a little bit more this week. Our best is in front of us. I'm confident of that. Thank you.